After playing Demon Slayer 2 at Summer Game Fest, since I was basically surrounded by SEGA people, I decided to shoot them a few questions about the game. Now, some of these are very specific, but I know fans of this channel are looking for that kind of specific info, and to my surprise, SEGA answered every single one of those questions. They were very open about details on the game and happy to clarify any doubts. They really came across as being very confident about their product. The one question they kinda dodged was about Netcode, but even that one they technically did give an answer. So let's start with that. I asked SEGA, has CC2 made any improvements to the netcode compared to the previous game? I also added that their last title, Naruto Storm Connections, used Microsoft PlayFab, which really improved the online environment. SEGA gave me kind of a non-answer, saying we can't really speak to this question other than say that the team is hard at work on the game's online environment. So PlayFab is going to remain unconfirmed for now, and for anyone asking for rollback, I wish, bro, but I don't think that's happening. Still, ever since Storm 4, I think we've seen improvements to the CyberConnect 2 netcode. Demon Slayer 1 was a lot more stable than Storm 4 in my opinion, but that came at the cost of a really big input delay, no matter the distance between players. But Naruto Storm Connections improved on that by using PlayFab. So it had the stability of Demon Slayer without the sacrifice to input delay. My hope is that CC2 keeps that trend of improving game after game, whether that's using PlayFab or using something else. Still on the online though, time to put some of your fears to rest. Are we getting custom game lobbies from day one this time around? You may remember that Demon Slayer came out with online ranked and casual matches only. You could invite friends to play in a casual match, it wasn't as bad as Storm Connections, but there were no group lobbies, no ability to spectate each other's matches. That only came in a post-launch update. SEGA's answer to that was yes, group matches will return, and they will be there from day one. This seems like it's something obvious, it comes from the previous game, so the new one should have it. Yes, it is totally obvious. But we've also seen this studio cut basic features before, so I was scared. Final question about the online, can you confirm whether or not gear will be used in online ranked matches? Gear are these buffs that you can equip during story mode. And the last trailer confirmed that you'll be able to equip them in versus mode as well. They told me both online and offline versus mode, you will have gear enabled. So I was curious if this was a casual match only thing or if this was actually going to impact ranked matches too. And the answer is not usable in ranked matches. The team is exploring this, but there are obvious considerations needed. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. A lot of considerations needed, like maybe don't do it. There's so much gear in this game that if you consider all the possible combinations of teams and equipped gear, you really have an impossible number of possibilities. An impossible number of possibilities. That's English. So while I'm happy that this is something that's available in online matches, that we can enable it if we want, it's an option, please keep it out of ranked matches. It would make the game impossible to ever balance. And we've seen what happens when you put ranked matches in broken games that aren't meant to be balanced. Would it be possible to actually keep all those combinations in mind and deliver a balanced roster? Yes, anything is possible. But is CC2 the studio to do it? I mean, they're the same studio that buffed Susamoto last patch, so you tell me. The rest of my questions were not about the online specifically, but they kind of affect the game as a whole. First one was about the roster. Back then, this was the roster image that we had, before the leaks confirmed the final two characters to be Academy, Rengoku, and Tengen. So my question was, now that you've shown the full roster screen, can you confirm that this will be the final launch roster after revealing the final two mystery slots? I wanted to know if there were going to be some curveballs, some Sparking Zero expand the final roster trailer, or some Bleach Rebirth of Soul's secret unlockable character after 20 hours of story mode. But the answer was yes, that is the full roster for launch, minus the two yet to be revealed as you noted. So now we have the final two revealed, which means this is the final launch roster. DLC will probably still be a thing. I'm definitely expecting characters from the Infinity Castle movie for at least a year. And beyond that, who knows what's gonna happen, but this is it. This is the launch roster, 46 characters in total, or 36 if you know how to count. Now, during one of the story missions I played at Summer Game Fest, you play as Inosuke versus Daki's Sashes. There's a unique mechanic at play here where you have two different assists, but as a downside, you cannot switch characters. And I was curious. During the Inosuke vs. Daki Sasha's story mission, we play with two assist characters, Zenitsu and Wives. Is this a story mode only feature? Imagine how sick it would be if you could pick any Slayer from this roster and then pick two assists instead of just one. Balance-wise, the downside is huge. You cannot switch characters, but being able to combine a powerful assist with a different tilt assist and being able to summon both at the same time could make up for that flaw. I think this feature kind of balances itself, so it must be available in versus battle, only story contextual. Can't a man dream? My final question was about a very specific game mode, because I don't know what we're looking at here with a training path. So the question was simply, what is the training path? To which they answered, the details are in the preview guide. What preview guide? Turns out I was missing a whole PowerPoint presentation of Demon Slayer 2 details, which included this paragraph about training path. The Hinokami Chronicles 2 features an in-depth training mode called Path of Training that allows players to learn the ropes of combat with the help of the Hashira. Here, you'll advance through a series of tournament brackets with ever-changing victory conditions, such as winning a battle with over 50% health or triggering 2 ultimate arts in a match. Players will be able to choose which path to follow and which Hashira to challenge, keeping every tournament round fresh and engaging. It's basically an offline tournament mode with collectibles for your Slayer ID as rewards. Each Hashira has 3 tournaments at different difficulties, and as you can see from this bracket preview, you could actually make it through the whole thing while only doing a couple of battles. They've also sent over this screenshot, which gives us a few more details on what a battle actually looks like. So the icon next to each character is going to be a random buff that they'll have throughout the battle. In this case, Nezuko has an attack enhancement. And you have a bonus condition which requires you to switch your support more than once. That should be pretty simple. Now, I don't know how good or bad this game mode will be, but I love that Demon Slayer 2 is getting more single-player content in addition to story mode. They already announced kind of a boss rush mode tackling the first game's bosses, not only in their normal difficulty, which you had in the first game, but also in a new hard difficulty as well. But now this repeatable and farmable tournament mode seems like it's a definite improvement over the previous training mode, which was awful, repetitive as hell. It was so boring. I know most people watching this channel only care about the online side of things, and that's also important to me since that's the side of the game that has the most longevity, but I'm not gonna act like a lot of offline-only anime games didn't shape me growing up. This stuff is important, especially if you're gaming on a budget. You want the package to be as complete as possible, and as usual, I applaud them for trying something new. I hope it's a fun game mode. And I hope I don't have to do it 20 times to get all the trophies. It also seems to have some character unlock keys from the looks of it, so if nothing else, it could be a quick way to unlock the entire roster. But those were the questions I had for SEGA, but SEGA also had some words for me, which caught me off guard. Do you remember when we put together a big document of balance changes made by the community and then I sent them to SEGA? It seems like that document has not only helped with the balance patch that they put out, yes, the same one that buffed Susamaru. I still don't know where they got that from, but I think the rest of the patch was actually really good, so our feedback was heard. And it seems that that document has also been useful to balance this game as well. And they have pretty much rebalanced every character in the roster, so good job everyone. I wasn't expecting that work to still be paying dividends today, but if you were a part of that document, you have helped shape Demon Slayer 2 as well. So if the game sucks, you now have yourself to blame for it too. You're welcome. I do feel like the line of communication with SEGA is a lot more open now. This is something that I feel I've had with Bandai Namco for a while because I cover a lot of their games. They know what I'm all about, so they are receptive to what I have to say or to my voice as someone who hears what a lot of the community is saying all the time. But SEGA, they had no idea who I was back in the first Demon Slayer, and now they do. And I really appreciate them listening because at the end of the day, we're all working together just to keep the game going and keep it as good for as long as possible. Now, keep in mind that even SEGA's power over this is somewhat limited. If you want a clear example, I mean, at Summer Game Fest just now, they had Sonic, Shinobi, and Demon Slayer. You could capture gameplay for all of their games, except for Demon Slayer. At the end of the day, Aniplex is the ruler supreme here, and if the game isn't promoting a Demon Slayer movie, it kinda has no value to them. Unfortunately, that's just how things work in anime games. But a big thank you to SEGA for answering all my questions, and as we get closer and closer to Demon Slayer 2's release, there's nothing left but to keep waiting and enjoying all of those Team Ultimates they have been publishing. Gosh, there are so many of them. I should have at least one more big video before the Demon Slayer 2 release, but until then, if you want more Demon Slayer 2 content, check out this video from when I played the actual game. Thanks for watching. Bye.